Is it going again?
Yep. You can move that chair out of your way. It's a little annoying.
All right. I'm August Decker, and my topic is human gene patents. The DNA is the very building block of life. Your entire physical makeup is made up by its arrangement. In the past 40 years, we've made significant advancements in genetics. Oftentimes, when groundbreaking discoveries happen quickly, it takes a while for the law to catch up. This has been the case with human gene patents. Up until a Supreme Court ruling in 2013, base human DNA was patentable. Thousands of human genes, which occurred naturally in the human body, became the intellectual property of companies seeking a profit. Luckily, the Supreme Court put an end to this, but they didn't ban all patents on all forms of human DNA. They left an exploitable loophole: complementary DNA. Complementary DNA, also known as cDNA, is an altered type of DNA, usually made from catalyzing messenger RNA. The Supreme Court decision ruled that patents on human complementary DNA were still legal. Different types of this cDNA can be used for gene therapies and medical tests, but cDNA patents are illegitimate and harmful to research and the medical industry. cDNA patents give power to companies to raise the costs of medical treatments to increase profit. Simple treatments can become very expensive when companies choose to seek the highest profit. In 2015, the pharmaceutical company Turing bought a medicine for a deadly parasitic disease. Almost immediately, they raised the cost from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. They were able to keep other companies from copying the drug by forcing consumers to buy through a specialty pharmacy. This made it hard for other companies to obtain the drug in order to reproduce it. With cDNA patents, there's much more opportunity to profit off of absurd prices and monopolies. A company could own all the treatments and tests derived from a single type of cDNA based off of one patent. They can control the costs and limit the availability. cDNA patents can also prevent patients from getting the tests and treatments that they need. Patent holders have the ability to restrict the use of their treatments and therapies. If not profitable, patent holders can quit producing treatments while holding on to the patent. In the European Union, company Unicure manufactured a gene therapy for a rare genetic disorder. They ended production after it became apparent that the therapy wasn't profitable. But this left patients without the treatment that they needed, while Unicure retained the patent, not allowing other companies to reproduce it. cDNA patents should also be illegitimate under US patent laws. Under these laws, naturally occurring phenomena are not patentable. What is a better example of a naturally occurring phenomenon than the very building block of all life? cDNA also occurs naturally in viruses, yet again making it a naturally occurring phenomenon. Not only that, but humans' complementary DNA is still distinctly human. Other parts of the human body are not patentable, altered or unaltered. Why should cDNA be any different? Complementary DNA patents can also slow down research. They've created a rush to patent any potentially important cDNA. Companies jump onto profitable discoveries in an attempt to patent first. This forces researchers to act quickly to patent before making their discoveries known, adding extra time-consuming steps to publishing research. Researchers are also forced to work around patents or hand over discoveries to patent holders. This makes researchers much less likely to collaborate or share information. Researchers choose not to make agreements with complementary DNA patent holders for fear that their discoveries will be taken in the end. This pushes cDNA patents also push companies and researchers to pursue only the most profitable research rather than beneficial applications. Even though sometimes beneficial cDNA applications are profitable, it has still slowed progress towards treatments for rare and thus less profitable ailments, like the example I gave earlier. Overall, patents on human complementary DNA slow down research and allow companies to overcharge for treatments. Not only that, but they should be illegitimate under U.S. patent law. cDNA should not be patentable.
All right, August, the proposition needs to be a lot clearer. You've got a two-part proposition suggesting that it's both illegitimate and harmful, so there are two, and I think that that's your proposition, although it's not clearly labeled as the proposition, that it's illegitimate and harmful, so there are two components to the proposition. It needs to be more clearly labeled. You do kind of give us a general overview of what the issues are, but without a numerical signpost, I don't know if those are going to be the supporting points of the speech, or they're just going to be stops along the way that we're going to run into this information. So I think you could give it a little bit more structure. In the body of the speech, I think we run into the same problem that because the claims are not as clearly labeled, somebody who's listening closely will probably figure out what the secondary issues are going to be. One is that the prices are going to be exploited, and that people are going to not have access to the research or the modified the complementary DNA treatments that are available for some reason. And you gave a good explanation of what those reasons are. You only had the one example to illustrate that, and I do think you want to give us a source for that example so that we know that there's a way to check on it and see, in fact, that that actually happened the way you've described it. But other than that, that's the only proof that I heard on that particular point. The rest of it is a lot of speculation about what could happen, what might happen, and how these things are likely to happen, but the proof on it, I think, is a little bit problematic. And then the second argument is about how it's going to slow down research. And once again, you've got a lot of explanation about what's likely to happen. It sounds to me like some of this material could in fact be quoted, but you're not citing a source as you're quoting it. You're just giving me a description of what apparently the process is. And I think that if it's quoted material and we're talking about an expert who says this is the kind of thing that happens, then there's some credibility to that. If you're simply saying, well, I've read about this and this is what happens, and we don't have any evidence to back it up, then it's a little bit more problematic. It sounds like it's a viable description of the events, but I'm not sure that it's something that is sufficient to believe that it's true. So I'm a little underwhelmed with the evidence that's being presented, although I get the impression that there's good research here. It's just not being cited appropriately in the oral presentation. And at the end, I thought you had a pretty reasonable summary, but now you kind of shift to a policy claim as the exit line, and that is also problematic because that's not really what the function of this particular assignment is. All right, thank you.